What's popping, y'all? We're back at it again. Fury. Last week was an interesting and exciting draft year. A lot of moves happened. A lot of things happened over the draft. Him, Fatme, Dula, Josh back at it again this week, talking about the grading of each team for their draft. Um, so I guess we should start off. I mean, unless anybody has something quick to say before we start off with the grading.
I think we're gonna hop right into it, right, fellas? Or
All right, we're gonna hop right into it. So we're gonna start off with the AFC East teams. Now we have the New England, Miami, Buffalo Bills, and the New York Jets. I guess we're starting over with Miami. So, Tim, what was your grade, bro?
Well, for the Miami Dolphins, okay, I'm gonna give him a B plus. I like the move with Charles Harris in the first round. I like Raekwon McMillan. He could play outside, inside linebacker from Ohio State, and I like the Cordell Tankersley, a hands-on corner who would get in your face. I think a B plus was very fair.
I like that. That's kind of the direction I went with. I really like dude. Charles Harris is a great fit, explosive, good first step, and I like Raekwon McMillan too. I thought maybe the Giants might have a knack for him in the second. I think he fits well with the Kiko Alonso and Lawrence Timmons there now, and Isaac Isiata. They snagged this dude, and from Utah, the offensive guard. He kind of dropped off due to some off-field issues or whatever, but I think he's going to be a mean run blocker, and I think he's going to become Ajayi's best friend. So I'll give him a solid B.
I'll go with a B plus. They need to get more pass rush. They did. You guys talk about Raekwon McMillan. My concern about him is he a 3-down linebacker in the NFL? Can he cover? If he can, then even better. But from what I see, he looks like a 2-down player. But otherwise, it was a good draft for him.
Yeah, I'm going to go the same route. B. They definitely needed a pass rush. You got Charles Harris. Again, I think he's going to be a stud. And more importantly, they address needs that they had on both sides of the ball throughout the draft. So I think that's extremely important that they address those needs and tackle exactly what they were looking for this coming season.
Nice. All right. I guess we're moving on to the New England Patriots. Yeah. Tim?
Hey, listen. I'm only going to give them a B plus because they trade away so many picks for quality starters, but I love the move what they made with as far as adding protection on the offensive line, which was Antonio Garcia and Connor McDermott, and I like the pass rushing from Derek Rivers and Deatrice Weiss. So we all know what Bill Belichick can do with defensive players. B plus.
Yeah, I was just looking at the draft, and you can already tell what Belichick is doing, what he loves. That versatile defensive end, that 3-4 outside linebacker, and Derek Rivers, and it looks like Deatrice Weiss from Arkansas could do the same. And Connor McDermott, 7th rounder, but this dude Dante Scarnecchia and the Patriots offensive line coach will turn him into a starter in no time. So I'll give it a B plus.
I actually give it an A minus because you figure their first rounder was Brandon Cooks, their second rounder was Tony Ely. Their 5th rounder was Mike Gillislee. So they traded 3 picks for, quality players. And I really think Derek Rivers can be a star in this league. And I think they add to the pass rush, get some offensive line prospects. The pipeline keeps going. I'm going to give it an A minus.
I give it an A. And for all the reasons Dola just explained. They traded picks for quality players, quality starters. That's going to help this team. And then the picks that they did use, listen, you can't question New England and what they do because it always seems to work. It's worked for the last 2 decades. So A for New England.
It's a good take.
All right. Now we're moving on to the Buffalo Bills. Who are the 2-minute warning fans who are Buffalo Bills? I can't remember.
We got a few. We got Hobbs, the magician, Hobbs Illusion.
All right, so Hobbs, I hope you're tuning in right now. So moving on to Tim, Buffalo Bills, what's good?
Oh, listen, I give him I'm gonna give him an A. They got Tre'Davious White, a good starting corner. Okay, they got Zay Jones, who performed every well in the Senior Bowl, and he was moving up the draft board on a lot of the wide receiver position. I like the guard Deion Dawkins. He was getting better and better from Temple. Not only Hassan Reddick, but himself. And I like the fact they got Nathan Peterman. I know our draft gurus, Fogg and Della, has spoke about Nathan Peterman and how good it was. So my faith is in what they said, and I'm gonna stick with the B+ for the Bills.
Value picks everywhere for Buffalo this year. Value, value, value. I mean, you get Tre'Davious White. He's a 4-year starter in the SEC. I mean, that's got to speak volumes itself. Zay Jones went from a 3rd, 4th round guy and sped away and trusted the process from the Senior Bowl. Ended up as almost a 1st rounder. And Deion Dawkins, like Tim was saying, converted DT. His best days are ahead of him, and he's got that short little firepower to, explode away on the D-line. So, I mean, great value. And again, Peterman, like Tim touched up on, to snag him in the 5th, that's awesome. I'll give it an A. I'm sorry. Solid A.
I'm going to give it a solid A. Not so much the players, but more so they get a 1st next year. They traded down 17 spots and get a 1st for next year. Again, we said everything. Peterman. Buffalo's an interesting situation. They have Cardell Jones already on the roster as a developmental guy. Nate Peterman comes on as a developmental guy. I don't know if they're sold on Tyrod Taylor. Their last pick, Tanner Vallejo, he's going to be very good on special teams to start. He may become a starter in the future on defense. So this is an A. They didn't mess this up.
I agree. They didn't mess it up. I'm going to give them a B+, primarily because cornerback, wide receiver, O-line were huge targets. And again, value picks. They got value at each of those positions. I just, again, questioned the Nathan Peterman pick, and they still didn't address the safety issues. And you could get a good cornerback, but if you don't have a good safety behind them, you could be leaving them out on an island.
All right, sorry about that. My mind was somewhere else for a second. All right, so we're moving on to the last team in the AFC East, and that is the one and only Trisha's New York Jets. Now, do you guys have any good thing to say about the Jets? Tim, Dula, Boss, Bogman, Trisha's listening right now.
I have a lot to say about the New York Jets. A lot of good things. And here, I'm going to start off by this, okay? They're the Jets. Anything was needed. Everything was needed. So I love they took the best player available in the draft, Jamal Adams. Then in the 2nd round, they went with Marcus May, safety out of Florida. Some felt that he was a little bit high. But remember, because Calvin Pryor options not picked up. So you got 2 safeties in your defense already. Then they needed a receiver with a new one. You got David Stewart. And you got Chad Hansen out of the 4th round. I like that. And on top of that, they had no good tight end. We all know Barnage is out there. He'll be a good pickup for them because their quarterback is very familiar with them. But Jordan Leggett out of Clemson was rising up the boards. So I think that I gave the Jets an A+ because they balanced it out and took care of the defense and the offense. Running back is still an issue. The quarterbacks were taken early. They couldn't really do that, but I give it an A+. Not bad.
Interesting. I kind of went a different approach because I don't understand really what the Jets are doing right now. I understand the safeties. I like it. Jamal Adams is going to be something real special. I am so high on this guy. I think he's just going to be an absolute enforcer in this league for years. Marcus May was interesting after the Jamal Adams grab, but are they trying to go for the 3 safety set? And what I question is, Darius Stewart was a great grab. They need more weapons, but what are you doing at the quarterback position? And whatever you are doing at the quarterback position, the Jets addressed nothing on the offensive line. And they addressed nothing with the linebacker core either. So I'm not sure where they're going this year. So I gave it a C-.
I'm going to come in the middle and give them a B-. They went best player available at 6. It worked out with, Leonard Williams a few years ago. And hold on a second. My bad. Hold on.
Demo for this year.
Yeah, it was really weird. But all right. You know, you get Jamal Adams and Marcus May. All right, cool. Fair enough. But then Ardarius Stewart, I'm still okay. Chad Hansen out of Cal. I'm not high on him. I don't think he's that physical. I think he's going to get bullied in the league. And then you keep going. Jordan Leggett, okay, you get a tight end, but I think he's just a straight line type of guy. And then it gets really weird day 3. They wait until day 3 to get a corner, Jeremy Clark and Derek Jones. They started strong and got really weak. That's why I give them a B-. And like you said, who's their quarterback? This is not going to be a very good team next year.
Nope. And Trisha, they got a C+.
Oh, you were nice.
C+. And again, they started out strong. I like the Ardarius Stewart pick. I like Jamal Adams. But after that, it's kind of it's going to be hit or miss. And the back end of that draft was just it was whatever. That's where the GM is supposed to make their money, and I guess the GM fell asleep at the wheel. So yeah, C+ and another crappy season for the Jets.
Well, I guess that wraps up for the AFC East. It seems like, you know, between New England, Miami, both Buffalo, you guys gave them, you know, general like an average of the upper B+, but the Jets mix, which is kind of in the B-, maybe C+ range. So hopefully, you know, Trisha, your team, maybe they made the smart decision that no one else has seen. But all right, but that being said, we're moving on to the AFC North. That is Pittsburgh, Ravens, Bengals, and the Browns. And we're going to start it off with the Pittsburgh.
Okay.
With the Steelers, am I correct?
Yes, Steelers.
Hey, listen. I know Steelers fans are watching, like Corey and Brian. Don't get mad, but I'm giving y'all an A. Why? You know, TJ Watt, you know, he's gonna be that linebacker right behind their old time in Harris, and he's really a 3-4 player. They were talking about him going to 4-3. That's an experiment. He's a 3-4 guy. I love the pickup with the draft in the second round of Juju Smith, because if Martavis Bryant doesn't get his act together, nor Sammy Coates play better, that's the replacement right there. And I think he will feel good right there with Tony O'Brien. He's a good kid. We need good kids. My favorite pick out of this draft for the Steelers was James Conner, the running back. He has overcome so much in his health issue to get drafted by the hometown. Overcome everything. I love the pick. This is why I give him an A.
TJ Watt, just not a great pass rusher. So I don't know how he'd be utilized, most likely in the linebacker position. And Juju Smith, although he's going to be a solid receiver, I just think that was a bit of a kind of a question mark in my mind, since I guess you got a plan for Martavis Bryant in case he has his mishaps again, but not outstanding speed with Juju. And I think he's just going to be more of like a possession receiver. And again, like you said, I think James Conner was their best grab. He's a dynamic running back, and there's a reason he was the ACC Player of the Year. But overall for the Steelers, I'm going B-.
Yeah. I give it a solid A. I thought, they came pretty close to knocking this out of the park. We talked about TJ Watt. You're right. Juju Smith-Schuster is probably going to be a guy who's a possession receiver, but nothing wrong with that. I see a lot of Anquan Bolden in him. You got James Conner. We didn't talk about Josh Dobbs. They get their potential quarterback of the future at 135. And at 248, they took a guy, Keon Adams. He's from Western Michigan. I think, with the right development, he could be a star in the league. So I give it an A.
I give it an A-, and no one's talking about the most important piece. They're trying to get that secondary ready so they can actually man up against a spread offense that kills them year in and year out against the New England Patriots, and that's Cam Sutton. I like all the other picks, but Cam Sutton to me was a huge pickup for them. They could work in both as a starter or in a nickel package that you'd be able to set up against the spread of the Patriots. So I give them a solid A-.
All right. We're moving on to the Ravens. Tim.
Oh man. Hey, listen. A+. Everybody's passing. You know, they got their cornerback in Marlon Humphrey, who could play opposite Jimmy Smith. So now you're gonna have two physical corners, especially that's good for that division. Then we go with Tyrese Bowser from Houston. Now, you know, he was rising up a lot of people's boards, and he might be the replacement for Terrell Suggs soon. Again, 3-4. And I'm gonna go on Dallas boy. Go Big Blue Wormley from Michigan, defensive tackle. I mean, they added defense. And the last thing, they added probably the best pass rusher in the draft in Tim Williams. Now, anything, I don't care how terrible Alabama is off the field, as long as you got Ozzie Newsome and you got C.J. Mosley, who is the big brother of Alabama, things will work out. Yeah, A+.
I think the Ravens, pretty much hit it out of the park. Their first 4 or 5 picks are solid all around. Marlon Humphrey speaks for itself, and then Tyrese Bowser, he's pretty much like a Hassan Reddick, just without more polish to him. Chris Wormley was a great value pick in the 3rd round. He's going to be, made probably like a 5-tech at the next level. And then Tim Williams dropping all the way to the 3rd round, which is amazing since he was projected to be somewhere at the end of the 1st, possibly beginning of the 2nd. And then even Nico Siragusa from San Diego State. If you watch Donnell Pumphrey's tape, this guy was basically his main guy. He puts all the pressure on the edge, and Donnell Pumphrey, he's going to be something special in this league too, but that's another story. But overall, the Ravens, solid A, absolutely. I just didn't give him an A+ because of the need still at the running back and the wide receivers still. That's why they didn't get the plus from me.
I'm gonna go A-. Like you said, you get Nicholas Saragusa, they get Jermaine Eleanor, who they both, are prospects at guard. We talked about their defense already. The first 4 picks are probably going to be starters in the near future. They still need a lot of help at receiver, though.
Yeah, I give them a solid A. Again, the one thing they didn't address is the receiver department, and that's going to be huge for them because what are you giving Flacco to work with? It's not like we're talking about a great quarterback to begin with, and he doesn't have much to work with over there. But as far as defense is concerned, they locked it down. Offensive line, locked it down. It is solid A.
Yeah. All right. We're moving on to the Bengals.
Okay.
I'm giving the Bengals a B-. I thought the John Ross pick was too high at number 9 overall. I know he has that speed, but he has questionable durability. I know it's needed with AJ Green and Boyd, but I just don't trust him at number 9 overall. I think it was a bit of a reach. Then the questionable one was Joe Mixon at running back. Not to say that he's not to me was the best back in the draft, but I don't think that was even needed. You have Jerry Hill. Jordan Willis, okay, he's going to be playing that 3-4 as an outside linebacker, but I don't know. Scouts was saying he's really a 4-3 end. So now you're going to teach somebody to stand up. So we got question marks when it comes to Ross, Mixon, and Willis. Then we go to Carl Lawson. He slipped because of injury, but I think Carl Lawson probably was their best player, more secure, and he was picked in the 4th round. I'm gonna give him a B-.
Yeah. John Ross was a little bit of a reach there. I definitely like the value pick in Mixon. Obviously, Fox has argued it before, probably the best back, and we'll definitely see that come to fruition. And I like Jordan Willis a lot. I think he's going to fit there well. You can just plug him in anywhere. Very versatile. Carl Lawson, on the other hand, I think it's still a good value pick, but on the other hand, I think he's still got questions about longevity, how he could hold up, motivation. And I really like Ryan Glasgow in round 4. That's a great pick up from Michigan at the D tackle. But other than that, kind of, nothing really stands out. But I did like those 3-4 picks. Same with you, Tim. B-.
I'm gonna go solid B. I think this is a team that started kind of weak in the draft and got strong. I thought John Ross was a colossal reach at 9. I gotta be honest. Given his injury concerns, I know the 4-2-2, I know the highlight plays, but big reach at 9. I thought Joe Mixon was a reach. And they don't need a running back. I didn't really understand that, but after that, they get Glasgow. They get Carl Lawson. They get Jordan Willis. All guys who I think fell a little bit. Josh Malone will be another fast receiver for that team. And someone like J.J. Dillman, Jordan Evans, like they really hit their late picks. Their early picks, I don't get it.
I give them a C+. And again, for the same reasons, basically. I liked the John Ross pick. They needed some more weapons over there, but for what was available, that was a big reach. I love the Mixon pick, but again, on one end, you're getting the best back in the draft, in my opinion. On the other end, what the hell do you need him for when you got Bernard and Hill? It just made no sense. I feel like you almost pissed away a second-round pick. And it's not like you were doing anything to make any trades for that either. You hit the back half of the draft, but again, there was nothing really spectacular there, and I don't feel that they addressed some of the needs that they had to, especially at the linebacker and D-line position.
All right, so it seems like the Bengals didn't do so well with you guys. So let's move on to the last team in the AFC North. Is there any Browns fans in the group?
Are there any
We
Browns
have one.
in the universe?
Tim, did you find one?
Yeah, I found one. I was so happy. Oh man. I forgot the brother's name, but I'm gonna tag him later on. So
All right, so Tim, let's go, Browns.
Listen. By far an A+++. Why? They have so many draft picks, but you know what they said? Hold up. We're not gonna just stay put where we at. We're gonna wheel and deal. And by wheeling and deal, they took 3 first-round picks. We're talking about, of course, number 1, Myles Garrett. Okay. Peppers, the question mark out of the draft, but hey, talent in the beginning. And then David Njoku at number 29. Now, here's the thing. Then they go back in the second round to Sean Kaiser, the future quarterback. Then, later in the round, one of my picks was Howard Johnson, the cornerback out of Houston. So the Browns hit on almost every pick, and it's the Browns. And I think this is a great way to start building this franchise. Wherever Hugh Jackson was doing that room with the GM, continue to do it, own them, sit back, and enjoy the build.
I like the direction they went in with the draft. Definitely, Myles Garrett obviously checked that off. And then Jabril Peppers, they say it might be a problem not knowing where he might fit in, but I'd say that's a damn good problem you're going to have over there in Cleveland. And David Njoku, 20 years old, ascending talent. I mean, they could have their tight end for years to come. And then you get you don't move up for Mitch, which is a great move because then late in the second, you're able to pick up Deshaun Kaiser, who's just going to be a developmental piece for you. So props to them for holding off. The only reason I'm not going to give them an A+ here, Tim, is because they had to just screw it up and pick up Caleb Brantley. They just had to do it. So I'm taking off the plus, and they're just getting an A.
Everyone watching, I don't want us to get things confused, a team getting a good grade and with their projection for next season. So let me
Right.
The Browns are going to win somewhere between 1 and 3 games next season. They're going to be horrible.
I'll give them 4.
That's being generous. They're going to be bad. They're going to be very bad. With that said,
The hopes and dreams.
I'm giving their draft an A+. Look, the first round, they get 3 instant starters and impact players probably early. You get Myles Garrett, you get Jabril Peppers. They talk about versatility. Look, these guys are pros. You figure out where the guys should play and let them run. And let him hit, tackle, and cover. That's what he does. Njoku. And I really grade drafts based on what teams do in the later rounds. And even in the later rounds, they did great. Howard Wilson, Larry Ogunjobi.
Yep.
Rod Johnson may be the replacement for Joe Thomas in the future. I'm not big on Caleb Brantley, but, if he can get his head straight, you got a second-round talent. towards the end of the draft. How could you criticize them? A+. They didn't reach for a quarterback.
You guys are making this easy. A+. I don't have to really say much. Ogunjobi's the one guy that I really like out of this. I like the moves that they made. Again, like Dilla and Josh and Tim, you guys said, they got 3 starters basically in the first round. I mean, this is a team that is setting itself up for success 3 to 4 years from now.
All right. Well, that's the
A. And I was going to say, not so much starters, but these 3 guys probably Pro Bowl type players early.
All right. So looked like AFC North did pretty well. The Bengals, did you guys give Bengals high or not so good? Because it's sort of strong, but
yeah, we gave
the inmates probably a C+ on average.
So they're only the
C area. Yeah.
All right. So we're moving on to the South and the West. I want you guys to wrap it up a little bit quicker because I know we still have another the other conference to deal with. So you're running to the South, AFC South. You have the Texans, Titans, Colts.
Make a decent time.
Tim, start it off. With the Texans.
I gave the Texans a C.
Woo!
Matter of fact, no, you know what? Nah, take the C away. I'm giving them an F.
Oh, geez.
You know what?
This wouldn't have anything to do with Tony Romo.
Here's the thing. Deshaun Watson didn't make the team a Super Bowl contending team. He's a rookie. You're hoping he performs like Dak Prescott or have a surprise year. Okay, you go with Zach Cunningham. Okay, you got your linebacker. All right, was it a big need? Not really. Then you got D'Onta Foreman. You got a running game. I didn't see anything here that makes the team even better. The most important people, the quarterback, they failed that during the offseason. I'm sorry. F.
The quarterback, obviously they needed one. Deshaun, I have mixed feelings with him, but he does play his best when they're up and the pressure's on. Zach Cunningham, great athlete. Just lots of questions at the missed tackles and 0 INTs in 36 games. I did like D'Onta Foreman, big dude, big running back with speed. I did like that acquisition. Just not going to be having a lot of touches with Lamar Miller back there. And I think that Julian Davenport could be a starter 1 to 2 years down the road. But overall, C. I agreed with you originally, Tim. C.
I'm gonna go C+. Anyone that knows me, I'm not big on Deshaun Watson. I hope he does well. I don't think he'll be in the league 3 to 5 years from now. I don't think he's that good, frankly. Zach Cunningham was kind of a name that went up and down. D'Onta Foreman, another one. Watch out for Treston DeCoud. He has a brother in the league right now, Thomas DeCoud. He's a safety for the Falcons. 6'3" safety, might be able to play some press corner for them. But I'm looking at the Texans draft and a lot of things they needed. They got inferior players. C+.
I'm going to disagree with all you guys. I'm giving them a B+. I like the Zach Cunningham pick. I get the concerns with the missed tackles. That is a problem. I like Watson. Like I said, I felt he was the most ready quarterback to start in the NFL, and I think he's on a team that he'll be able to function with that. I love the D'Onta Foreman pick. He's going to actually relieve Miller in some of the short yardage situations and goal line situations. So that's huge for them. And then the guy that I think no one's talking about, Julian Davenport, the offensive tackle. I think this guy's a special talent. And if he pans out, man, these guys nailed the draft. And my B+ may be an A or an A-. So a couple years down the road.
Let me say this, though. Before we move on to the next team, keep in mind they gave up a 1 to get Watson. They stayed put and got Watson. That's one thing, but they gave up a 1 next year to get him. So at least if they're not in the AFC Championship in the next 2 or 3 years, then I don't think it was a good trade.
All right, so we're moving on. We're moving on to the Titans. Tim.
I'm gonna give the Titans a B+. picks. They got Corey Davis, the best wide receiver, which was a need. Adoree Jackson was a reach at number 18, I believe. But I mean, he's a corner. He's a return man. That's something they added on. One of the pick that I like was Javen Brown from UCLA, the linebacker. I thought it was a very solid move. Especially when they got a lot of A's going around in that for that 3-4. So I would B plus.
Yeah, for the Titans, I love the Corey Davis pick. I think, in my opinion, he's like an AJ Green clone. I think he's going to be great for them. Adoree Jackson, a little bit of a reach. He did show signs of getting burned by like John Ross, but the 2 INTs that he had in like zone coverage was pretty impressive. And then you got Taywan Taylor from West Kentucky. I think he was getting some comparisons to like Derek Mason for his toughness, so he could actually be a solid receiver for him. And that's where they're really lacking right now for Mariota. I'll give it a solid B as well.
I'll give it a B plus. As I was thinking about it at 5 and 18, I really wish they went corner then receiver. Then again, I don't think there would have been a receiver available at 18. So they made the best move they could at 5 and got their receiver. Jonnu Smith, the tight end from Florida International, he's kind of another move tight end, Jordan Reed type. My problem with their draft was that they took a lot of receivers in lieu of addressing some other needs.
True.
Yeah, I give them a solid B just because of that. They were targeting the receivers, but I think they fell short on the cornerback position, and that was a position in need. And I also feel they felt a little bit short at the linebacker position too, and that was something they needed. But they definitely hit home run with the receivers that they grabbed.
All right, moving on to the Colts.
I'm gonna give him a B minus only because Malik Hooker might not start the season. Okay, and I mean he was taken at number 15. He was a top 5 pick, but got to see how it is. And then Quincy Wilson's a big physical corner, but has no speed. There was some saying he should play safety. I like the Terrell Bass from Ohio. He's going to be standing up in the 3-4. But again, that's going to be something that I don't believe he did in Ohio. He had his hand in the dirt. I'm going to give him a B. B minus, excuse me.
Sorry, as I was chatting away to Trisha and the Jets gang because they're attacking me right now for my C minus. Tim, can you just refresh what team we hopped over to after them?
Colts. Stop it, Trisha.
Indy, I gave them a solid B. I do like the Malik Hooker pick. I think he's the best center fielder in the whole draft. I think they got a solid corner in Quincy Wilson too, because he was mocked to be in the beginning of the first. I really like Terrell Basham too. He's gonna need a little work, but he's a good player with high motor. And then I love the value pick of Marlon Mack in the 4th. I absolutely love this guy. I think he's gonna be, if utilized well, I think Jim Bob Cooter is gonna have a nice plan for this guy. So solid B for the Colts for me.
B plus. You get a top 3 talent at 15. You get Quincy Wilson. I like Marlon Mack too. I like Grover Stewart. Yeah, I think across the board it was a solid draft. Nothing spectacular. It's the Colts. There were no spectacular picks here. But they got players who could play for you now and some good developmental prospects in the later rounds. So I'll give it a B plus.
Yep, I give it a B minus. They got developmental prospects in the later rounds. Again, I like the Grover Stewart grab. Nate Harrison, the cornerback from Temple, I'm a little suspect on him. I got to see him play. He could pan out to be a decent nickel cover guy. But, you look at Basham, you look at Hooker and Wilson, they really knocked that out the park. So they were needs that had to get addressed for running back and the linebacker, cornerback position and secondary position. So B minus.
All right, Jaguars, Tim.
Well, of course, I tell you this. I'm giving them an A plus. Of course, you got Leonard Fournette. right? Then you got an old lineman, Cam Robinson, with a first-round pick. You got him in the second round. Okay, then you got Dwayne Smoot, who, okay, he's a decent pass rusher out of Illinois. And then I love the D.D. Westbrook move. I mean, my God, you got Robinson, you got Hearns, you got Lee, and now you got speed with D.D. Westbrook. Bortles, you can't mess this up. Plus,
You're being generous tonight. Jacksonville, I love the Leonard Fournette pick. In my opinion, I think he's going to be one of those generational backs, good for years to come. Cam Robinson, mountain of a man, but I know Dula is going to touch up on it some more probably. You know, the techniques that he has, he could end up being a little work there. And then Dwayne Smoot, he's got good upside, but he's not the most physical DE, and there's a reason why he dropped. I do like D.D. Westbrook, though. He could be a steal if he doesn't have any more like off-field issues. His tape shows alone that he could be top 50 material, you know, if he didn't have the issues. So overall for Jacksonville, I'm going to give it a B-.
I'm gonna go B+ myself. I know I'm kind of I'm more like a B, and the reason being, I like D.D. Westbrook. I just don't see the need for D.D. Westbrook given Hearns and Marquise Lee and Aurelius Ben. It seems like they have a lot of receivers. Why you're adding another one, I don't know. But Fournette's cool. Cam Robinson, he has to find a position, whether it's right tackle or guard. I think it may be guard for them, and it's still a need for them. This is a team where, and then they got faster with Jalen Myrick and Blair Brown. I think they were just trying to get faster, and they did that successfully. I don't know though. This is all going to depend on what those later picks do.
I'm going to give the Jaguars a C+. I think while Fournette was one of the 5 best backs, probably top 3, you could argue, in this draft, he's also, in my opinion, the guy that's got the biggest boom or bust hanging over him. I like Westbrook, but again, I'm not, sold on him completely. And as far as the rest of the draft, I take it or leave it. It's going to be up in the air. We'll see what those guys turn into as the years progress for them. So C+.
All right. Well, it seems like the AFC South is a little mixed bag. Not so good. I don't know. We will see. Maybe they will come up and show everybody, who that they were right with their picks. But we're now moving on to the last AFC conference. That's the AFC West. That's the Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos, Chargers. Tim, we're starting off with the Chiefs. What you got for us?
F.
Oh.
Hey, listen. Here's my thing.
They didn't take Romo either.
With the 10th, you're a playoff team with the 10th overall. You're going to draft a quarterback who might not see the field for another 3 years? Because a 50-year option or something like that? I mean, I don't buy that. Then you got a project in Tano Panasalan. I can't say his name. Excuse me. Villanova. He's a project. So we got 2 projects you draft in the first 2 picks, 10 and 27. Then you got Kareem Hunt. You got a running back. Jamal Charles just signed with the Broncos. Okay, you got a running back. I wasn't impressed.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I think with that Pisagnon pick, they were going for the genetic freak dude that kind of needs like a year or so, and hopefully he develops into like this ultimate mega droid. But the Patrick Mahomes, yeah, he's my fave QB of the draft, but he's obviously going to need some work. He's got to pocket work. Absolutely. He's probably going to need maybe a year under Alex Smith and just see how he works. I do like Kareem Hunt. I do. And the Jehu Chesson pick, he could push for some targets early in his career. Overall, though, yeah, Tim, I wasn't really feeling it. It was kind of a C+ in my book.
I'm going to give it a C. And listen, I thought Mahomes was the best quarterback in this draft. I don't know if I would have traded what they traded to get him, though. Especially if he's going to be a developmental prospect, which that's a good thing to have a developmental prospect. Alex Smith has a lot in the tank still. It's still going to be a playoff team. Outside of that, though, I think Jehu Chesson, could start potentially early for them. He was kind of inconsistent in his senior season, but I think he's a really good receiver. The rest of these guys they got, however, it's hard to tell. A lot of guys they took, hard to get real projection on. So a C. I like Mahomes a lot. I think he's going to be great, but I don't know if I would have traded what they traded to get him.
I would have been comfortable giving them an F, like Tim. I would have been. I really would have. The only reason is it's Andy Reid, and he, for some reason, he's able to find gold in garbage. And I think this draft was garbage, in my opinion. Chesson is whatever. Mahomes, I like him. I like Hunt. But at the end of the day, did this make this team any much better than what they were going into the draft? And the answer is no. Then you really didn't do much of anything.
All right. So doesn't look like you guys have a lot of high prospects for the Chiefs drafts. But moving on to the Raiders, Tim.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I got attacked by some Raider fans who was watching the show, and I thank you for watching. And I'm going to thank you again if you're watching today, because I'm going to do it again. You're going to attack me again. It's all good. It's all love. Okay, I'm giving you guys an F. See, here's the thing. You guys are thinking like you guys are the next Patriots. You're going to dethrone the Patriots. Okay, you got Conley. Did we not hear the new update on Conley's issue with that female? Okay, stay tuned for that one. That's a first-round pick. Then you got Obi Melifonwu. Okay, listen, he's not Cam Chancellor. He's not Seattle's Cam Chancellor. He didn't play yet. Great athlete, bad performer. Not so much of a great performer from UConn. All right. You know what? It's not even worth discussing the other players. F.
Damn. Wow. I'm showing a little love to the Bay. Listen, Conley, he's a top 3 cornerback if he doesn't slide to allegations. And then you got Obi Melifonwu. Yeah, I know there's some doubts. But this guy's an athletic freak and in and out of his breaks, and he's a good tackler. And then you got this guy, Eddie Vanderdoes. Hoping his Senior Bowl, play stays. I think they're kind of hampering on that because he wasn't a big target until his Senior Bowl play. And then they get David Sharp, who can immediately help out on the right side. They got some good value, even with Markel Lee as a linebacker. So I think you're being a bit harsh, Tim. I'm going to go with B-.
I'll give them a solid B. I'm looking at their picks, and it's for the same reason with Kansas City. I look at these guys, like you got Conley. I hope he gets cleared up, honestly. Otherwise, it's a wasted pick. Melifonwu, big guy, freak athlete, looked really soft on tape. Don't see why he didn't dominate at Connecticut. You got Eddie Vanderdoes, same thing. Should have dominated, but at UCLA his last year, And then the rest of these guys, it's a bunch of the same thing, like guys who probably should have been better on tape, but just, honestly, this looked like a lot like an old school Al Davis type draft, getting a bunch of athletes who may not be great football players outside of Conley.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'm giving him a C though because of it. Melifonwu, I like him, but again, like you said, he didn't dominate, and for his size and stature, he definitely should have. The one guy I do like is Elijah Hood, the running back out of North Carolina. I think he can fit in well as a scat back for them and help them out and impact them actually this year. But overall, C.
All right. Okay, we're moving on to the Broncos. Tim, any Bronco fan, by the way?
Oh, well, here's the thing. I'm gonna give Denver a B+. They got the best. I mean, they got Gary Bowles, the O-line. All right, so that's good. To protect Mark Simeon. Okay, then they got DeMarcus Walker. Okay, he's so he can do in Florida State. He can move right inside in 3-4. He can stay outside. Then they got the receiver Carlos Henderson from Louisiana Tech. He's going to a great offense with Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. B+. but it was solid.
Yeah, I'd love Garrett Bowles. Nasty. He's got his IQ, and that will increase. DeMarcus Walker, I have questions on. He shows like he's into it, and then he's not into it. There's tapes of even Evan Ingram body and him around. He shows like no motor, and sometimes or some plays it's a little questionable. I do like Jake Butt, great value. He's already coming off the injury, but he should, he could be the next Zach Miller that stays healthy in this league. He's very talented, so it was worth the draft pick there. And then why not with Chad Kelly? But, overall, it was nothing very impressive. C+ for me with the Broncos.
B-. I like Bowles a lot. With that said, he's old. You wonder, so now you're going to be watching between him and Ramczyk. What are their career trajectories going to be like? Chad Kelly, if Chad Kelly can, keep his head on straight, he may be challenging Paxton Lynch for that position in a year or two. Otherwise, a bunch of guys, nothing exciting. B-.
Yeah, same here. I give it a B-. I do like the D'Angelo Henderson, the running back pick out of Coastal Carolina. I think he could be a solid special teams guy, and I like the Brandon Langley pick. But other than that, yeah, it's just a bunch of guys you're waiting to see how they pan out. Best pick they had was Bowles from Utah.
All right, last team in the AFC West, and that will be the AFC last team. That's the Chargers. Tim.
Oh, A+ all the way.
The Los Angeles Chargers.
Sorry, Los Angeles Chargers.
Going down.
You're getting fined for that. I give it A+. They stood by the football god's law of protect your quarterback, feed him and protect him. And they drafted Mike Williams, a big target for Phillip Rivers. Then, in the second and third round, you address the O-line with Forrest Lamb and Dan Feeney, okay? That's those top three picks right there. It was saying, Rivers, we feeding you, do what you got to do. A+.
I did like some of the acquisitions. I just questioned who you're going to put there with Melvin Gordon. You didn't really address that at all. I did like Mike Williams, obviously one of the top receivers. I think Forrest Lamp was an absolute steal down there. And then I was like, Feeney, okay, I kind of get it, but you already just addressed the interior with Forrest Lamp. So maybe they're just trying to find their center and right guard like right off of the bat. And I really do like I think Rashawn Jenkins and Desmond King are great value picks. Sam Tevi, obviously, he's going to have to work into it. I just give it a B-.
I give them a B+. If you think about Phillip Rivers' best times as a quarterback, he had big targets like Malcolm Floyd, Antonio Gates, and Vincent Jackson. They get another 6'4" receiver. They get Keenan Allen back, Dontrell Inman, and they have some other guy. What's the other guy's name? I forgot, but Tyrell Williams. So like they got guys. They're set at tight end, and I like Lamp. I like Feeney. At what cost to other positions was that though? They did need safety and linebacker help. So otherwise, I think Desmond King is going to be a star at free safety once you move him, and they got him late. So I'm going to give him B+.
I'm going to give him a B-, just exactly what Dola said. They didn't address the linebacker position at all. They needed safety help, and they got it. I'm with Josh on you address the interior with Lamp, and then you go Feeney. It's kind of like, okay, I can see what they're trying to do there and shoring up the interior to help Melvin Gordon out on the running game. But, again, you had other needs that you really needed to address. So overall, B-.
All right, so that's the wrapping up of the AFC, and it looks like the AFC West is around maybe C-, maybe a B- average, except for Tim bombing it with a couple of Fs. But that being said, we're moving on to the NFC, and the most importantly, NFC East. We got a big teams here. We got a lot of Dallas Cowboys. We got a lot of New York Giants fans on the wall. This first, grading is for pretty much 50% of all the fans in QMW. So we're going to start it off with, of course, Tim's team, Dallas. And Tim, do you have any
Of course.
constructive criticism for your
Of
team?
course I do. Listen, I'm giving my Dallas Cowboys A++. There's nothing to hide from there. We got Taco Charlton. Okay.
Surprise,
At
surprise.
28, Taco Charlton, all right? He's supposed to go earlier, but all the good ends left. I drafted. Okay. Then we got Chidobe Awuzie. Now, this is a corner who they compared to Tyrann Mathieu, who could play every spot in the secondary. Then we stole Jordan Lewis in the third round, who was really a first-round pick or early second. Top 50 player. We got him because of an allegation thing was Jerry me the deal. So we stole that. Then we got the returner in Ryan Switzer. Now, if people don't have faith in white wide receivers, check this brother out. This is a brother right here. Check him out in North Carolina. All right. And I'll stop right there.
Wrap it up,
A+.
Tim.
I feel good.
Taco is a one-year starter, but he's got a great wingspan, athletic ability. Probably could be like a JPP. Chidobe, great. Can play safety or cornerback. Great toughness. Jordan Lewis, blah, blah, blah. Ryan Switzer, he's going to be Cole Beasley's replacement. Go for the special teams. Xavier Woods going to replace Barry Church. Marquez White, he fits Marinelli's scheme pretty well. And then the others are just special teams fodder. But overall, I'm going to give a B+ for the Cowboys.
I'm giving them a B+. In the later rounds, they got some snoozers, honestly. In the earlier rounds, though, you had Charlton or Watt. I don't know. I may have went in Watt. It depends on how you feel. I would have went Watt, honestly. I think he's going to be the better pro. But you get Charlton. You get Awuzie. Jordan Lewis should be a pretty good slot corner for you. He fell because he's small, but, he's slot corner. That's fine. B+, they got better. They got some talent where they needed to. They kind of fell asleep in the late rounds, though. Not impressed.
I give them a B. I like Awuzie. I like Charlton. They did halfway decent. I think they reached on Jordan Lewis. He's, again, like Dola said, he is an undersized guy, but he's not that fast either. And, again, he's still got a charge pending. I know you came at Cincinnati about Mixon, but his rap sheet is clear right now. You got a guy in the third, and his rap sheet is pending. B.
The New York Giants.
Oh, well, listen. This is for you Giant fans, I do respect the Giants. You know that, but I'm gonna keep it real in 100. The football god says protect the quarterback, and I didn't see anything here with that. All I see, don't get me wrong, Evan Ingram is gonna be a nice tight end. I recall in Dulles mock draft, he had him going number 28 or in the second round pick to Dallas, or in the second round to another team. The Giants picked him up at number 23 when Njoku was still on the board, but another Jordan Reed. Okay, Dalvin Tomlinson, replacement. I don't think it was a little bit of reach, but I understand the pick. You needed what works for the Giants, and they need that big run stuffer. They got this Webb. Reports came out that they was trying to trade up in the first round for Patrick Mahomes, but because the Chiefs stole him, they settled with Davis Webb. My favorite pick was Goldman out of Clemson. He's going to be a fan favorite. He's going to be a banger for the Giants. The problem is O-line. Can you protect Eli, and can you make sure these running backs can run that ball? Can you block up front?
Sorry, what was your grade, Tim?
C.
C?
Give him C.
Okay.
So it looks like this offseason they're trying to focus on getting more double coverage off Odell. So that's why they got Marshall, and now that's why they went with Evan Ingram. He's not really your blocking tight end, although he can. He showed signs of, DeMarcus Walker. He showed he could hold his own. But he's obviously more of a receiver, red zone threat. So that's going to be Eli's best friend. Dalvin Tomlinson will come in right away to challenge Bromley and Rob Thomas because they're nothing special. And Davis Webb, if you want to look at it from a fan side, half glass full, like Dula put it before, he's basically like a Jared Goff that we acquired in the 3rd round. So you could argue it's great value, but he's probably going to be holding a clipboard for a year, arguably 2 if all goes well. Wayne Gallman, power back, but I'd still like to get a veteran. And Avery Moss could be nice later round pick, but still need to adjust the O-line, and that's what we did with Bisnawadi, but he's been injured 3 of the 4 years, so I give it a B-.
I give it a solid B. I thought it was puzzling at 23. They basically drafted a big wide receiver. Looking at the roster, I don't think they needed a big wide receiver. They have one in Marshall. If they wanted tight end, I really wish they would have went a more traditional inline tight end like Njoku. Otherwise, looking at this, Tomlinson, I like him a lot as a prospect. I don't know if he's a fit for the Giants. I think he's a 2-down run stuffer. You have one of those already in Snacks, but maybe they'll make it work. The rest of the picks, not bad. I like Webb. For where you got him. You can sit him for a while, get him right. A couple of years, he can do something. Avery Moss, I think, is going to contribute early. But again, you got to get some protection from Eli. And I was disappointed that they didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
B.
Yeah, I'm going to give them a C-, and primarily because of that, they didn't get the protection they need. I love the Avery Moss pick at 5. I agree with you, Bill. I think he's going to be a solid contributor immediately. I'm not a big fan of Webb. You got him at 3. I get, he's going to be like Josh said, a clipboard quarterback for the next 2 years if all goes well for the Giants. And then Tomlinson. Yeah, it's cool, but like Dola said, you got Snacks there. Evan Ingram, that's probably the most puzzling thing. Njoku was there. I think he would have been a better fit. I don't understand why they grabbed him there in the 1st round when Njoku was available. So at the end of the day, I'll give them a C- because you got to keep Eli upright to throw the ball to all these guys.
All right. So we're moving on to the next team in the East, NFC East. That is the Washington Redskins. Tim.
I'm giving the Redskins a B+. It would have been an A. Now here's the thing. First of all, Jonathan Allen he was originally a top 5 pick. He fell to number 17. But here's the thing. By falling, that's concerns. And when you see Jonathan Allen, who had the shoulder injury, I believe Dulla and Fogman put that up when we were doing our mock draft earlier with me and Josh, and teams are scared of that. Then you went with Ryan Anderson, solid pass. He would be a solid pass rusher for them. But Fady Moreau, corner and safety. Now, here's the thing with him. He may start on the pup. So, when it comes down to it, how many of these guys are going to contribute earlier, and how many guys are you scared of? I thought Samaji Perine, that's Dulla's boy, who thought he was better than Mixon. I thought that was a steal. I give him a B+. Fair.
In my
You went
eyes,
from B- to B+?
B-, excuse me, B-. Excuse me.
In my eyes, I was like, damn, I think the Redskins might have had the best draft in the whole NFC East. You got Jonathan Allen, who's a steal due to sliding. You got Ryan Anderson, who's a physical edge. He converts speed to power. He's going to be like a Ryan Kerrigan clone almost. And then you got Fabian Moreau, who was great value there. He was a first-round corner until he tore his pecs at Pro Day. And then you got Samaje Perine. I mean, what the hell? It's like, who's running the Redskins now? Did they finally put down the vodka? Holy crap. And then Jeremy Sprinkle. I love saying the name, but that dude's he has great size, and he's going to be a great addition with Reed. And then I love that, what's his face? Josh Harvey Clemens. I think he's going to have my eye because I'm intrigued with the 6'4", 217 frame being a late draft at safety position. That's intriguing right there. Overall, I'd have to say Redskins get an A- from me.
I'm going to go B+ for the Redskins. Jonathan Allen, look, we talk about his shoulders. Even if he's a dominant player for 7 seasons, it's better than what they might have gotten had they went someone else. I won't talk about some of the players. We talked about them already. I think Monte Nicholson is going to be a pretty good safety in the league. My problem with them is they didn't address quarterback. I don't think Kirk Cousins is the long-term, plan there. Perhaps they didn't see anyone, but there were guys available like a Dobbs or a Peterman that they could have gotten late.
That's next year.
Yep, I agree. I'm giving them a B+. I'm with you, Josh. I think they did the best in the NFC East as far as drafting is concerned. It was pretty impressive. But the one looming thing stopping them from getting an A is, again, no quarterback. And it's almost a given that Kirk Cousins isn't going to be returning there next season.
Oh, one thing, too. Also, they got this running back. Let's see.
You gotta wrap it up, man.
Oh, actually, no. Go ahead. Just keep going.
All right. So we're moving on to the NFC North team. Just a recap. It seems like the NFC East team did fairly well, somewhat. I think there's a couple of C's here and there, but
Can we talk about that?
You're just gonna skip the Eagles. That's all right. I see how it is, Sean. Wait till we get to Seattle.
Hey, listen.
Wait till we get to Seattle.
I completely
What happened?
Eagles.
Did
It was
Trisha
by accident. It was
did
not on
Trisha
purpose.
inbox you and tell you not to
It's
talk
not on
about Philly?
purpose. I'm
Sean.
sorry. Sorry about that.
Thank
Tim,
you. That was
Eagles.
well scripted. I was there hearing that Fly Eagles Fly song so much at the draft. Thank you. Thank you. But here's the thing. I'm gonna be fair with this, and I would have thought the Eagles probably could have had the best draft in the NFC East, but I'm gonna give them a B+ only because Sidney Jones won't be playing this year. But the value was good. They got Derek Barnett. I like the Rasul Douglas pick, 6'3" corner. The guy I wanted from Dallas and the Eagles traded up and took him was Donnell Pumphrey. I didn't see why they needed him because you have a guy like that with Sproles and Smallwood. They're the same type of back. I thought they needed a running back to go pound in between the tackles. But Donnell Pumphrey, listen, that boy's dangerous. He broke all Marshall Faulk's record in San Diego State. So
It took him 4 years to do it, though.
it did.
I do like Derek Barnett. That's a solid pickup. And then Sidney Jones, he's kind of being compared to Marcus Peters. If you can get that, starting midway through the season or next, that's solid right there. And then Rasul Douglas, he's got the long corner that Jim Schwartz is going to love working with. Donnell Pumphrey, you already said it, Tim. It's going to be a headache for us for years to come. He's probably going to replace Darren Sproles eventually. And I'm going to give it a solid B for the Eagles.
I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna give them an A-. Considering that going into the draft initially they didn't have a first round pick and they fleeced Minnesota for theirs. Given that, so think about it this way: they give away their one this year for Carson Wentz, who it's worked out so far, and then they recoup a one. So, no, I think they did fairly well. Derek Barnett very productive. Jim Schwartz is gonna, let him, wreak havoc. They get Sidney Jones off the red shirt. I thought all in all, this is a very good draft. A-.
Well, I'm giving them a C+. I wasn't happy with their draft at all. I like Barnett. I like the Sidney Jones grab. That helps him out in the future. Rasul Douglas. I was up in the air on him, but his size. He's going to be able to handle the big receivers in the NFC East. But you grab Mac Hollins out of North Carolina, big guy, but nothing spectacular. Doesn't have great speed. I felt, for that, you had Malachi Dupree and Ardarius Stewart, if I'm not mistaken, still out there on the board, and you pass that. And then, Donnell Pumphrey. I like Donnell Pumphrey. I do. But he's just another scat back. He's not the answer to a solid running back there. He's he's Wendell Smallwood. So, for that, why not target some of your other deficiencies there on the D line and at the linebacking position? So C+ for them.
I think we're ready now for the next conference, Sean.
All right. Sarah's reading something. So we're going on to the NFC North team, starting off with the Green Bay Packers. Tim.
Oh, A+. Hey, listen. First of all, the Kevin King pick at the Kevin King was a good pickup right there. Then he got the safety Josh Jones, who a lot of scouts were saying that pretty much a ball hawk. So they got that safety replacing, I believe, Michael Hyde left in free agency. And then, God bless Martavis Adams, the D tackle from Auburn. At the time he was being drafted, he was seeing the first birth of his newborn baby. God bless. I like the running back Jamal Williams from BYU. I thought that was great. A all the way.
Nice. Yeah, I love the Kevin King pick. Solid NFL corner. Tested well, too, with Josh Jones. And then you got Montravius Adams was a solid pick. And Vince Beagle was getting a lot of praise for just being that later round grab that could eventually emerge as the linebacker in Green Bay's future. And then Jamal Williams, no surprise there when he's catching comparisons to James Starks. I do Malachi Dupree. I understand some are big on him, but others are saying that he might need to show, his worth on special teams in order to stick around. So he might be a toss-up, but overall, I give it a solid B+ for the Packers.
I give it a B+. They traded out of the first round to get Kevin King, big corner. Here's my problem with them. On day 3, they took 3 running backs. That's overkill. Did they really need 3 running backs? Probably not. Especially when there's some available in free agency right now. Outside of that, they made some pretty good picks of where they were. I just don't like 3 running backs in day 3. I don't see the need. B+.
Sure.
I'm going to give them a B. I'm not a fan again of the running backs with Dula that they just went crazy, but then again, they don't have one. So I guess that's what you got to do. I like the Adams grab. I like Josh Jones. And again, I love the Malachi Dupree grab. And yeah, he's going to have to show that's what they're talking about, that he's going to have to show his worth there. But he's going to have to show his worth only because he was playing on an LSU team that was Fournette centric. It was all about the running game, and their quarterback at LSU was complete garbage.
All right. Moving on to Dula, the Lions. Tim.
Well, here's the thing. I trust in Dula's work when he comes to the draft. Respect his work. So I'm gonna give it a C only because he didn't like the Tease Tabor move. All right, from Florida, cornerback. He didn't like that move from what we discussed. He got the Jared Davis, good solid linebacker. All right. I also like the Jalen Reeves, maybe from Tennessee, backer, but because Dulles said he didn't like Tease Tabor, that cornerback, I said, damn it, that's a C then all the way.
I do love Jarrad Davis. I really wanted him to land to the Giants. I think it's a big win for them. Tease Tabor, yeah, I would be the same way as Dula was. Hopefully the competition with Hayden and Slay ups his game a little bit, but we're all going to make fun of his pedestrian 40 speed until he actually shows otherwise on game day. But I really do, Tim, as well. Jalen Reeves, I really like. He's when healthy, his tape shows that he has a higher draft stock than what he went for. And Michael Roberts will be interesting. I don't know if Dula's, high on taking a tight end again in this draft, but he's going to look like a red zone nightmare. He had a touchdown for every 3.1 receptions. So that's a pretty crazy stat to have at Toledo. I give it a B- though. No, they didn't really address running back in the D line.
Oh man, I'm giving it a C+. They reached all over the board after Jared Davis. I thought Tease Tabor was a reach. I thought Kenny Golladay was a reach. I thought Jamal Agnew probably shouldn't have been drafted. You look at Jalen Reeves, maybe, and if he can stay healthy, he's going to be pretty good. I like Jared Davis. I think for the Lions, they need to get better in the front seven. So they get 2 linebackers out the deal. But they didn't address the pass rush until late. And then you draft a 6th-round quarterback in Brad Kaya, and they took a 6th-round quarterback last year with Jake Rudock. Granted, we know Matt Stafford's going to be a Lion until he quits, but why? Why'd you take Brad Kaya when you have Jake Rudock on the roster? C+, they reached all over the board. I don't like it.
Yep, C+. From Michael Roberts on down, I think it was just reach central. And they didn't address wide receiver, and they damn sure didn't address D-line the way they should have.
All right. So we're moving on to the next team. That is the Minnesota Vikings.
Here's the thing. Aquato, I know you've been missing. We miss you. Yeah.
Missing, like,
I'm
the
giving,
first round
I'm giving
pick.
Minnesota Vikings an F.
Whew.
An F all the way. I understand they didn't have a first round pick. What you gave up for it wasn't that good. And then you sit there, you took Dalvin Cook. Now, here's the thing. Did you need Dalvin Cook, Kenan? Okay, you got Latavius Murray there too, but you got no O-line. So it's useless. Okay, so I don't know how that's going to work. Then you go out here and it's not even worth it. Me speaking, F. Not even worth it. I'm done with that. Come on.
Jeez. I mean, I love to make fun of the Vikings too, but I'm going to be a little more lenient. I don't know. Maybe it's my smart water today. But I love Dalvin Cook. Absolutely love him. Great value right there when you drop into the second for them. And then they pick up Pat Elflein, who's labeled as a technician. It could be a starter for the next decade. And then they got Jaleel Johnson, who's a Sharif Floyd insurance. And I'm interested to see how Bucky Hodges might work out for him, because Kyle Rudolph has been nothing but unimpressive. And this guy's got a 6'6", 257 frame. So I'd really like to see that guy go out and get it. But overall, I think they addressed a lot of positions. They spread it out, which is good. And that's why I'm going to give them a B+.
I'll give them a solid B. Keep in mind that their first rounder in effect was Sam Bradford.
Yep.
Which, given the rest of the quarterbacks, let's be honest, is Sam Bradford better than the rest of those quarterbacks? Yeah, I can say that pretty comfortably. They get Dalvin Cook, cool. I think getting Pat Elflein, I really thought he was a first-round pick. He was first-round caliber at center. The rest of their draft, you got Bucky Hodges. We'll see what happens. They did get Jaleel Johnson and Danny Isadora, some offensive line prospects. They didn't do too bad. I do wish again though. I don't know if they needed Dalvin Cook at that spot. I think they could have traded back a little bit and got him.
I'm going to give them a B-. They addressed issues. I like the Dalvin Cook grab. Him with Latavius Murray, that's a nice 1-2 punch you're going to have coming out of that backfield. Like Dilla said, essentially their first-round pick was Sam Bradford. Given the quarterbacks coming out and given what was out there in free agency, not bad. I mean, statistically, he was a top 15 quarterback last year, so you can't complain about that. So I'll give him a B-.
All right. Moving on to the next team, our last team in the North, the Bears.
The Bears.
Woo! I want to.
They wish they had Sam Bradford right now.
I mean, I'm giving them an FC.
An FC?
The reason why the F, because how in the hell do you trade up from number 3 to number 2, give you a first round pick next year? But on top of that, the GM didn't inform John Fox of this move. John Fox, there's rumors saying there was a little bit of tension in that room going on. Like, how the hell, why you be doing this? And someone's saying because the GM wanted to save his job with Trubisky and for F what John Fox wanted. So I'm gonna give it an F. But then the C comes from. I like the Adam Shasheen. You added a big, very big tight end for that offense. Okay, then you got Eddie Jackson, who was a good safety out of Alabama. You need that for that defense, and then they got the running back Tyreek Cajon from North Carolina, which was okay, but it was like the GM says, "I want this pick," and then John Fox will take care of you the rest. I didn't like it.
FC.
You can make it a C. I'll be nice.
Okay. Moving on.
Huge risk after giving Glennon all that money. Now you get Trubisky. Now you get this tight end Adam Shaheen because your Zach Miller can't stay healthy. And then you get Eddie Jackson, who's a versatile back. And he can score with the ball in his hands, but he's got a little injury concern. And then you wait until round 5 to bolster the O-line, Chicago. D.
D. A D for the Bears.
I'm giving them a J because this is a joke.
No, Jay.
It was
That's worse.
Let me tell you what was laughable about it. We talk about Glennon. Granted, his deal, if you look at it, it's really a 1-year deal. Right, cool. Fair enough. Okay, listen. The Chiefs gave up a 1 for their future quarterback. Houston gave up a 1. So the Bears only gave up 2 3s and a 4. Fine. Here's my problem with that. They were bidding against themselves, right? When you make a deal from 3 to 2, the 49ers are sitting there like, okay, we know who they want. You're bidding against yourself because they didn't want them. Matter of fact, according to Schefter, the 49ers didn't know who the player they wanted was. They didn't care. They're like, okay, fine, we just want the picks. Take whoever the hell you want. They could have picked Solomon Thomas, and I'm sure Brown took Trubisky, whatever, right? You're bidding against yourself. You give up 3 picks to bid against yourself for a quarterback when, if you look at that roster, they are bad across the board. You look at their later picks. Eddie Jackson, I think, when he recovers, is going to be pretty good. Adam Shaheen, you wonder, he played at Ashland. He had some lower competition. You wonder if he can catch up to speed. Tariq Cohen is, 5'5", whatever. He's a small running back. Go back to that decision, the 3 to 2, you bid against yourself for Mitchell Trubisky? That is a joke.
All right, let's move on to
listen, I'm giving them an F.
Guys.
I like the J. You could also went to the J for John Lynch because he sold Mitchell Trubisky in the week coming up to the draft because nothing was said about Trubisky by San Francisco until, well, we'd like to trade back. Yeah, Thomas is good, Jonathan Allen, or Trubisky, and all of a sudden, boom, ding, 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 trade happens in Chicago. I guess goes into panic. So, give a pat on the back to John Lynch. Great move by him.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, they did nothing. You give them a Z at the end of the alphabet for all you care. They did absolutely trash. Trubisky, again, I'm not sold on him. And then you didn't address any of your needs. You got a safety that you're waiting for him to get healthy, but cornerback, what'd you address? O-line, what'd you address? You got a tight end that, in my opinion, is a reach? Nah.
Everybody's making up their own rating system.
The Chicago Bears may be the worst team in the NFL next season. They may win 2 games. They're horrible.
They will get the first-round pick, though.
Yeah.
They will get that first pick.
I think that was the last team in the North. Oh, dear Lord, the Bears. I think everybody else got a fairly decent grading, but the Bears it's killing the curve for the North.
I don't get it. I don't. No one can really explain this to me in a rational way as to why you go from 3 to 2 for Trubisky, and the 49ers are more than willing to do that. They're like, all right, cool. That should have sent a red flag to you.
They made a Browns move, I see, right? All right, so we're going on to the NFC South. We got the Falcons, Bucks, Saints, Panthers. Start off with the Falcons, Tim.
I'm gonna give him a B+ because no, excuse me. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a B+ only because you added to Chris McKinley. You traded up in front of Dallas because I think that was probably the original pick. Dallas was going to get Chris McKinley, but you trade up right in front of them and you took him. Now him and Vic Beasley, that's going to be a nice combo, especially after the Super Bowl. Pressure. Then they got Duke Riley, another LSU linebacker. They already have one on the team now who's pretty good. The corner I like was Demontre Casey. They showed up that defense pretty good in order to make a nice run again. So I'm gonna give him a B+.
I do like Takk McKinley. I think he'll be paired nicely with Beasley, and the Duke Riley pick was also nice. Sean Harlow, good grab, and I think Casey's also a dog, kind of with ball skills. But I just think they probably could have addressed the D line a little more. I get McKinley might be like a 4-3 DE, but I think he might mostly play the outside linebacker. So, I believe it's I'm blanking on his name right now. He just balled out in the what is it, Grady Jarge? I forget his name for Falcons though, but he needs help on that D line. So I'm giving them a B-. Name is bothering me. What the hell is it?
I'll give him a B. I'll give him a B+. That's what they do in Atlanta. They've been collecting pass rushers and linebackers for years. This is no different. They get Takk McKinley. They get Duke Riley. They get Brian Hill in a later round. Eric Sauber.
I'm sorry, just cut you off. That was B+.
B+.
B+. Okay, sorry.
They get a pass catching tight end. No, I thought it was pretty good for him. This is just what they do. They collect pass rushers. You can have enough. You can never have enough of those.
Yep, I agree. B-. I like the Riley grab, McKinley grab. I like that as well. They addressed the offensive line a bit there with Harlow. B-.
All right, so we're moving on to my brother's team, the Bucks. Mike Ford, what's up, bro? I hope you're listening. Tim.
Oh, I think they probably had the best draft out of everybody. I'm giving them A++ with the additions. OJ Howard going to the Bucks with teaming up with Cameron Brate. That's awesome. I like Justin Evans, the safety from Texas A&M. He could play corner and safety, but I like Chris Godwin. You're gonna have Evans, Deshaun Jackson. Okay, you're gonna have Cameron Brate, OJ Howard, and Chris Godwin out of Penn State. He'll be great in that slot. And then you have the linebacker Kendall Beckwith. Now, middle linebacker is what they needed. A+++.
Why? I'm very curious as to why the Buccaneers didn't address cornerback at all with how deep this class was. OJ Howard is obviously, a great. He's going to be paired with Brate. The two tight end system would be awesome over there. And the safety, Justin Evans, he can be aggressive and he can overshoot his target a bit. Chris Godwin, he could be a solid wide receiver. He was sensational in the Rose Bowl, and he had a big season too. But I just think there was other positions to really focus on in this draft. And running back being one, and they didn't address that until McNichols, I think, with Boise State. So I'm giving the Bucs a C+ here.
I'll give him a B+. I think McNichols has a lot of Jordan Howard in him. I think he's that type of runner, that type of player. OJ Howard was highway robbery where they got him at. He should have went much higher. I think I'm like in the top 5 in my mock. He's that good of a player. Chris Goodwin, yeah. So I think with the Buccaneers, it's just perplexing because again they kind of doubled down at kind of receiver. When they have receivers on the roster, they got Deshaun Jackson and who's the other guy? Deshaun Jackson and Mike Evans. So do you need another wide receiver? Probably not, especially when you get OJ Howard. So, but otherwise,
right.
Solid B+.
I'm going to give them a solid B. I like the decisions that they made. I do wish that they would have addressed running back a little earlier. But as far as the safety position, I like Justin Evans. I think that was a very good grab. And again, their offense is going to be lit. And if Doug Martin can stay healthy, man, this team's going to be fun to watch.
All right, New England Saints. No, sorry, New Orleans. New Orleans. I'm sleeping right now. New Orleans.
Oh well, you know what? I love the pick. I'm gonna give him an A. draft at 11, Marshawn Lattimore. You got probably the best tackle, Ryan Ramczyk. You got this one of the a good safety in Marcus Williams. I like the running back Alvin Kamara. All right, you got a sleeper linebacker and Troy Hendrickson, who did very well at the combines. I think overall, especially with the off season, this team is trying to make a nice run. So I'm giving them an A.
Yep. You arguably got the best cornerback in the draft and arguably the best left tackle in the draft with Lattimore and Ramczyk, and then you got a Reggie Bush prototype with Alvin Kamara. And I like Alex Andelin too from Florida. He can go on passing downs or he can rush the QB. Just has durability concerns. But I think they addressed some key pieces in this draft. I definitely think that defense definitely needed that help. And I'm going to give him a B-. Didn't really address the wide receiver QB position still, and that's going to become a concern in the future.
I'll give them an A- actually. I think they hit on a lot of their picks. They get Lattimore. I think they really wanted Reuben Foster, but got outbid by San Francisco. But you still get Ryan Ramczyk, great player. Alvin Kamara. Here's why I don't like the trade. They have a ton of running backs as is, and they gave up a second rounder to get him anyway. I'm not sure why you're doing that, given what you have on the roster now. We didn't talk about their last pick was Al-Qadim Muhammad, great pass rusher. So I think it's an A-. It would have been an A if they didn't give up a coup for Alvin Kamara, given they have other needs.
I'm going to give them a B, and primarily because that they went out and grabbed, moved up to grab Kamara. They other than that, they addressed their safety, cornerback, linebacker needs. I like that kid, Anzalone, coming out of Florida. So I give a solid B.
All right. So that was the Saints. We're moving on to the Carolina Panthers.
Whew. Well, we all know we all know that Cam Newton right now is jealous of Jameis Winston. He's gonna say, "Damn, he just came here a couple of years ago. He got all that, and I'm still here with this." I'm gonna give him the Panthers an F for fairy tales. Okay, you drafted a receiver. One is out of shape, and now I'm starting to believe. I'm starting to go on the hype train of fragments saying he will be overrated in Kelvin Benjamin. Then you got one, in Funches. So then in the first round, you draft Christian McCaffrey. Okay, solid move. Okay, but then you go get Curtis Samuels from Ohio State, who's a slash running back slash wide receiver. And my God, like, is that supposed to make Cam Newton better? Receiver, he's good at if you get him out in space, but that's not gonna repeat Cam Newton of taking the Panthers to the Super Bowl. I mean, my God. F.
I love Christian McCaffrey there. I love the fit. It's going to be the Caucasian McCoy over there. And then we got Curtis Samuel. I think he's going to be a great second-round grab for them. I think he's just going to be automatically added to that offense. He's just going to be a good dynamic piece for them. And then you got that offensive guard out of Western Michigan. He held his own, especially if you look at the tape against out of Illinois, Dwayne Smoot. Great depth grab right there. Deshaun Hall, I think he's got Cornell, they're out of Miami. He'll be put into the nickel package in Steve Wilkes' defensive scheme. So overall, I get the Panthers a B-, man. Not bad.
B-? All right.
Yeah, I give him a B+. I'm not.
He's a B- or D-?
B.
B. All right. Go ahead, Dula.
Yeah, I'll go B+. I don't think it was that bad. I question two things. You basically get McCaffrey at 8, and then you get Curtis Samuel. They're the same player in essence. Not sure if they're a running back or a receiver. But if you look at their receivers now, they're tall, slow guys, so they need to get some speed. And they did get some speed with Samuel and McCaffrey. I'll go on record in saying I think McCaffrey's going to be a slot receiver in the end. I don't think he's going to be a running back. I think he'll just be a slot receiver down the line. Corn Elder, I think he'll play early. Tough player, very competitive. They didn't do bad. They need to get faster on offense, and they did get faster. So B+.
Yep, I give them a B. Same exact reasons. They got faster on offense. I like the Curtis Samuel grab. I like McCaffrey. I think they'll be able to incorporate him well into that offense. And I like Deshaun Hall. They needed somebody to replace Coney Ely, and they got that guy. So I like what they did, and they addressed all their needs. So B.
1 second, guys. And the next, so that's the end of the NFC South. Moving on to the West, where my team lies. The first team to talk about, NFC West, the Seattle Seahawks.
Garbage.
Yeah, Seahawks are first, and he tries to leave the Eagles off. I got you, Sean.
Garbage.
Well, I started by saying this. With all respect, I'm giving them a B-. Okay. They dropped back, kept on dropping back in the draft. They was trying to get in the second and third round, which they did. Malik McDowell. I remember Dullo was saying that he obviously could be a top 5 talent. It just basically he needs to be motivated. And when you playing for a guy like Pete Carroll in that type of setting, they're gonna get this guy going. So I thought that was a very good move. I like the even posting move too from the center from LSU. O-line, he needed center, and they addressed that. I like the Shaquille Griffin cornerback. That's something good for their secondary. And to me, there's a steal in there. My favorite pick was Amara Darboh from Michigan. I remember I guess we was all watching the Senior Bowl, and this guy was tearing it up over there. I remember the balls, and they got him in the third round. Solid. I give him a B-.
Sorry, Steve or Mikey, your brother was yelling at me for my Tampa Bay grade. I'm a little distraught over here now. I don't know how I can go on anymore. I like Malik McDowell, but he does have that hot cold range, and hopefully Pete Carroll gets the most out of full potential. Sometimes he can with his defensive players, and then obviously the center was a big need. They haven't been the same since they got rid of Max Unger, and I love the Shaquille Griffin grab. I think that's a great value. And I think Nazir Jones, he's kind of hot cold as well, but he's got good body size for a defensive tackle, and they definitely need to build that line back up. I think they addressed some good coverage or some good depth in the later rounds as well. There's going to be some special teams players that hopefully try to make the roster, but overall, B-. Didn't address linebacker or quarterback.
I'll give it a solid B+. I'll give it a solid B, actually. They trade back to get Malik McDowell. I really think he should have been a top 5 player. I think in terms of talent, I think he's better than John Allen. I think he's better than Solomon Thomas, talent-wise. But he disappeared this last season. He flat out did not play, which is very disappointing. Their first and second day were good. Their third day, Justin Sr., David Moore, Christopher Carson, I guess. But their first 2 days kind of propelled them. So I'll give it a B.
Yeah, I'm going to give them actually a C+ because they didn't address certain needs that they had to. They got the O-line that was solid there. D-line with Malik McDowell, but after that, cornerback they needed to address issues there, and they didn't. And again, the wide receiver position, I wasn't a fan of what they grabbed here either. So C+.
All right. So now we're moving on to the Cardinals.
Give me the Cardinals a B+. Hassan Reddick, they took. He's gonna be very good for them in that 3-4 as a linebacker. Buda Baker is gonna be very solid safety. And he's joining now. He's joining Tyrann Mathieu now. They got a receiver in Chad Williams. That's gonna be something. To see how good can he be, because we all know Fitzgerald is getting older. So I'll give him B-.
I'm right around there with you, Tim. I was solid B. I like Hassan Reddick, and I think Buda Baker could be nice for him. He's that football guy. They always label him as small frame, but ball skills could be like their next honey badger out there. And I like Dorian Johnson a lot. Great value pick. And Carson was hit 117 times last year. Can't have that again. So I'll give it a solid B. They definitely need a QB though. They need it soon.
I'll give it a B only because they kind of ignored the quarterback position. Let me say this right now. People say, "Oh, next year." You don't know what's going to happen next year. You know, you have no clue. You're gonna because last year I had Brad Kai is going to be a top 10 pick. What happens? He falls. So you can't play the game of we'll get it next year. Now the quarterback. Otherwise, Hassan Reddick, great player. T.J. Logan is another pretty good player. I gave him a B. I wish they did address quarterback though.
I'm giving him a B minus. They definitely need to address quarterback. And again, I'm not a fan of T.J. Logan. I don't like the Jonathan Ford grab. Dorian Johnson, that's cool. Holden was whatever. They made their money on their first 2 picks.
Just to put it out there, the Cardinals signed on Blaine Gabbert as a backup quarterback.
Like I said, they still have a quarterback issue.
Yep.
All right. Now we're moving on to the Rams. Tim.
Whose was worse, the Rams or the Bears?
Hey, listen. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna give him a B. I like Gerald Everett, the tight end of South Alabama. I thought that was good for to give another weapon to Jared Goff, even though they have a starting tight end. But that was good. They gave him Cooper Kupp. Now here's the thing. He's my favorite wide receiver out of this whole class. This is the same man who broke Jerry Rice's record. But everybody like, he played for a bad school, no competition. And here's the thing. The one school he did tear up was Washington when Kevin King was there, Buda Baker, and also Peterson, who played with the Chief. That's a game to watch. And that's my favorite receiver out of this whole class. And also they got Josh Reynolds, big wide receiver, could fly deep, speed. So I like the improvement they put around Jared Goff. It's better.
The Rams are going to get a solid C- from me. Gerald Everett, I understand they probably panicked a little because of the tight ends and how fast they came off the board. Still a little bit of an early reach, I would say, in the early round 2. And then Cooper Kupp, I mean, I get it. He has average speed, though. So unless every passing route he runs is going to be a 3-cone drill, I don't really see how he's going to excel. And Josh Reynolds, he's basically just going to be Brian Quick's replacement over there in L.A. I was underwhelmed highly, and they still didn't address the O-line for good old Golfy pants. And where the hell's a cornerback here? Sorry, C- Rams.
I'm gonna give them a B-. Keep in mind that a part of their draft is their first rounder, which is basically Jared Goff. Given that it was a top 5 pick, that hurts a little bit. They could have gotten a lot of players at 5. That could have helped. Corey Davis for 1. But they get Gerald Everett. It's a tight end. They get some receivers put around Goff, and that's what you get your young quarterback. You give him some weapons. And they tried to do that given their picks. They didn't address corner, though. And they didn't have many picks to do so. So that's why I'm at where I'm at with them.
I'm giving them a D. They didn't address corner. They didn't address O-line. I actually like the Reynolds pick. I also like John Johnson. But, again, you got to get from the offensive side, you got to keep Goff upright. And you saw the struggles in the running game alone with Gurley. Mm-hmm. Nothing's improved. They've done nothing to improve that. So, no, D for done nothing.
All right, now we're on the final last team. 49ers.
Hey.
I'm giving the 49ers. the 49ers an A+. First of all, you stole a draft pick from the cookie jar from the Bears. Great. All right. You took Solomon Thomas with the third pick. And then you went back in the first round and you took Reuben Foster at 31. Hopefully that shoulder issue is not crazy, but still value was very good. My sleeper is going to be Joe Williams, the running back out of Utah. Now there was talk saying that John Lynch had him on the board the night before the draft, but then took him off. There's also there's also was saying that he was kicked out of Utah for theft. But hopefully he's a pure athlete. They like him at running back as far as his style. I'm gonna give him an A+.
Solomon Thomas is going to be just as good as Myles Garrett in my book. Then Reuben Foster, excellent value. Ahkello Witherspoon, intriguing but a little inconsistent. Then you got CJ Beathard. I was like, it might be a little bit of a reach, but you got to do what you got to do down there. And then I like George Kittle a lot. I think that's great round 5 pick. I think Vance McDonald's going to be out of there, and I think George Kittle's going to be a great pro for them. I'm giving them an A- overall.
This is going to hurt me to say. It really is, given the 49er fans. And 2MW, such as Nate Cobbs. Still trash, Nate. But I'll give him an A. I really think they fleeced Chicago, first of all. They were really able to get them to bid against themselves and get 3 picks out of it. Solomon Thomas, great player. He's going to be a great pro. They're moving to a 4-3 front. He can play all 4 positions in that 4-3 front. You get Reuben Foster, could be a middle or will linebacker. So they're building that defense back up. All of their picks, like Ahkello Witherspoon, is going to take some time, but he's about 6'4", 200. He could be your next Richard Sherman type corner. Trent Taylor, DJ Jones, Adrian Colbert. Look, they made some good picks. Here's why they don't get a plus. CJ Beathard in the 3rd round, when Josh Dobbs and Nick Peterman were on the board.
Yeah.
No bueno. Again, this is a team who still needs a quarterback. And you can say next year, well, guess what? What if Sam Darnold goes back to USC? What if Josh Rosen goes back? What if Josh Allen goes back? Then you're playing this next year game. You can't do that. So I give him an A.
I give him an A. I don't think there should be. I don't like the quarterback grab. I agree with you. That stops me from giving him an A+ because you had Dobbs available. But I also don't think it's that big of a deal from a quarterback position, even if they don't get anybody in next year's draft. Let's face it. Unless Washington's able to move Kirk Cousins, Cousins is going to San Francisco next year.
That's true. Crazy enough, everyone says Beathard looks and plays a lot like Kirk Cousins.
It seems like the 49ers have probably the best rating from you guys throughout the whole draft. But you know what?
Listen, given the trade, it's hard not to give him.
I mean, they did that without a mask and gun.
Yeah.
We was laughing the whole time. It was like Goldilocks and the Bears. They boy down with Goldilocks, and they with the Bears. And they came and took all that honey, laughing off. No, they thought it was a biscuit. Stupid. Dumb.
Well, hey, it's been almost 2 hours. I know everybody listening is probably trying to get some, trying to get to bed, but it was a good show, a lot of information, a lot of input. I guess we'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. Any last word, fellas? All right, then.
Super Bowl!
It was a fascinating draft. Shout out to the Cleveland Browns and 49ers for not blowing it.
Yeah, for real.
Even
the Redskins
next season, but they didn't blow the draft.
Even the Redskins, you guys looked pretty impressive. I don't know what's in the water out there, but hey, congrats to you guys.
And shame on you, Chicago, for that. Shame on you. You know,
all right, fellas. That's our show. We'll catch you guys next week. Easy.
Shame. Knuckleheads.
Shame.